Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video, I'm going to be showcasing a team that had unbelievable results in the Great League. This is not a team of my own creation. This team was created by Wholesome _, a fellow content creator. He went 49-6 with this team across the first 2 days of the season. Now, the team features a Shadow Alolan Sandslash with Powder Snow on the lead, Shadow Kanto Marowak as the save switch, and Gastrodon as the closer. So, Ice double Mud Slap, and he had unbelievable results with it. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches, and I'm going to test out this team for myself in the Open Great League. Hopping into the first match, leading A-Slash into low kicks. Considering there's two Mud Slappers in the back, you're definitely going to want to try and bait out the bug type with the Marowak safe switch, or in this case, just catch it on the lead. They shield the Ice Punch. I'm not going to be shielding up the Trailblaze. Trailblaze or X-Scissor, I can tank either one. They boost their damage, but the Alolan Sandslash barely hangs on, makes it to Ice Punch number 2, and the opponent double shields the low kicks. This should hopefully set me up nicely for a potential Gastrodon sweep in the back. I bring in the Marowak. I'm going to shield once. Even though Bone Club is resisted, they're low enough and Kanto Marowak hits hard enough that they should be able to knock out. So Bone Club picks up the KO, in comes Feraligatr, and here's where that 3-cycle on Kanto Marowak is so nice. I get to make the Bone Club, that does massive damage to the Shadow Gator, and I'm more than happy just to shield and farm down. I don't know what they have in the back, but I'm going to have energy on the Kanto Marowak and a Gastrodon. In the back, it's going to be the Shadow Drapion, and this game is over. I get a catch onto the Gastrodon. Opponent sees the writing on the wall and concedes the match. Shadow Alolan Sandslash versus Clodsire in the next game. One thing I like about this team is it triple hard counters Clodsire. This is technically Clodsire's best matchup because it can at least damage with Earthquake. I fire off the Drill Run, I'm going to switch into the K-Whack, and I'm fine absorbing this Earthquake. Opponent actually went for a Stone Edge bait. They didn't react in time, but out comes Togetic. Togetic, of course, did get buffed with the Fairy Wind buff. Togetic, a Pokemon that would absolutely destroy Gastrodon. So we're starting to see more and more the importance of this Kanto Marowak safe switch. You bait out the stuff that Gastrodon doesn't want to see, and you're able to damage it, set up nice farm for the Alolan Sandslash, and then just sweep with Gastro in the back. Dazzling Gleam will connect. That does massive damage. Sandslash gets the farm down. They're probably not bringing back in their first Pokemon. They're going to bring in Feraligatr, and this game is over. I fire off the Drill Run to grab the first shield, and in the 2-to-1s, Gastrodon easily defeats Feraligatr, so the opponent is going to realize there's no longer a win con and concede the match. Hopping into the next match, Shadow Alolan Sandslash versus Mandibu's unbelievably good lead. Mandibu's staying in, and if they're staying in, there's only one reason. They are core broken, and they're weak to Sandslash somewhere in the back. In that case, I'm probably going to want to switch out of this matchup at some point, because I really want to try and bait out whatever it is that is their Sandslash counter, so that way Sandslash can clean up in the end game. I'm going to fire off another Ice Punch. That's going to be no shielded this time. I switch into the Kanto Marowak, getting the catch and the sneak. Mud Slap is double resisted, and Mandibuzz is very bulky. But you know what? I'm feeling like farming down with K-Whack. If they stay in, they're getting farmed. I'm going to commit to the farm down. They make one final charge attack, and after one more Mud Slap, they will get KO'd. They're going to switch out, bring in Clefable. Clefable going to get hit with a ton of energy from the Kanto Marowak. Bone Club is going to connect. I'm already at another Bone Club. I know they have a Swift already. They can outpace me. I want to save this energy and bring in the Sandslash. They throw what can only be a Swift. Swift is not going to knock out, though. I'm going to commit to a farm down here. It actually ends in a simultaneous KO, but honestly, I would rather have a simultaneous KO here, because then I just get to bring in Gastrodon, and it's Clodsire in the back, and this game's over. Opponent can try for a catch, but it's not going to matter. Gastrodon Mud Slaps down a Mandibuzz to secure the win. Opponent, it doesn't matter if they Earthquake. I tank it very comfortably. They go for a little bit of bad manners with a Sludge Bomb. I'm going to fire off an Earth Power in return. Earth Power very comfortably going to pick up the knockout, even with missing a couple bubbles, and we're able to take the win. Hopping into the next match, Alolan Sandslash versus Jumpluff, the Dream Lead. Opponent safe switches 2 for Alligator, and I'm going to respond with the Shadow Kanto Marowak. Shadow Kanto Marowak does win the 2s. What I should do now is throw 3 and a Bone Club, but as you notice, I just commit to farm. This is a misplay on my part. The Marowak, if you throw once, can still win the 2s. As you see, 3 more are able to KO. You can still win the 2s if you throw 1 Bone Club and if you switch after just 1 Powder Snow. So now I'm down 2 shields, which is really not great. So I definitely could have played this matchup cleaner. And since this is the non-Shadow Jumpluff, they can actually survive 2 Rock Slides. These 2 Rock Slides will add up, but my opponent actually decides to commit a shield. I was quite surprised to see that because they can survive it, and it's not like their Jumpluff's going to have a lot of play against the Alolan Sandslash. In the back, they have their own Kanto Marowak. This actually still feels winnable for me. The Marowak is going to fire off the Bone Club, and the Marowak is going to get quite low throughout the course of this match, thanks to the Mud Slaps and Body Slams. The Body Slam is going to be shielded. Kanto Marowak looks like they're going to commit to a farm down. This Body Slam is going to get them low, and I'm going to get at least 1 more Mud Slap in. Alright, if this is 1 Powder Snow range, I win the game. This will be very, very close. Marowak is at the back-to-back, and they tank it with a sliver of HP. I can't even see that HP bar, but unfortunately, we do lose the game. We move to the next match, Shadow Alolan Sandslash versus Jumpluff. Is this going to be the same team? Opponent safe switches into Feraligatr, and again, I'm going to respond with the Kanto Marowak. I think in this game as well, I still don't throw a Bone Club. You definitely should just throw 3 in the Bone Club, because you can still get the farm down, but that way, at the very least, you're not going down 2 shields. So this is a good opportunity to do as I say, not as I do, because I don't play this mid-game the cleanest. I wasn't sure if I could actually get the farm down if I threw a move, but as long as you time it well and switch after 1 Powder Snow, you will be able to get that farm down. I'm going to farm up a ton of energy with the Kanto Marowak, firing off another Rock Slide. They can just outpace here. Opponent actually goes for a switch and a catch onto Golurk. Rock Slide's still going to do a lot to Golurk though. They shield, and now I bring in Gastrodon. Gastrodon just going for fast move pressure as Golurk will fire off its energy. Golurk goes for Dynamic Punch. That does heavy damage to the Gastrodon, and I intentionally do not throw a charge move because I wanted the Mud Slap. I think that I can farm down with the Marowak, and I can, and there's just nothing that Jumpluff can do going up against the Alolan Sandslash. So I did play that endgame slightly cleaner, but still, in the mid-game, you want to throw the Bone Club on good timing because you can still win the 2s if you do. We move to the next match. We've got a Core Breaker, and its name is Greninja. I'm going to save switch into the Kanto Marowak. Even though they're hitting for super effective damage, I do more damage with my Mud Slaps than they do with their Water Shuriken. They go for the Hydro Cannon. In comes Oranguru, and Oranguru, honestly, I'm not too upset about baiting this out. Opponent is going to look to farm up. They make a mistake. They go for a Brutal Swing. They needed to commit to a Trailblaze, as a Brutal Swing does not KO here. I'm going to look to farm up, fire off this Bone Club. Bone Club is going to be able to threaten a shield from the opponent. I wasn't going to make another anyway, and now I can bring in the Sandslash and just look for farm. The goal is, of course, Drill Run will be very threatening to the potential Greninja when they bring it back in. So I get that full farm down, which is quite nice. In comes Greninja, and Greninja is going to be smacked with a Drill Run. Drill Run will be shielded up. Greninja farming quite a bit of energy. I'm just going to let this go. I'm trusting in Gastrodon with a shield to win this game. Night Slash does not KO. I send in the Gastrodon, and this is going to be a tough call to make. I will commit the shield. Greninja goes for the Hydro Cannon. Can we get the farm down? No, they tank it on 1 HP. Oh, that is heartbreaking. It's just a Night Slash, however. What is that final Pokemon? It's a Carbink in the back. Oh my goodness, Gastrodon in the perfect position to sweep this endgame. Opponent actually gets the defense drop from the Earth Power as well. Even if I didn't get the defense drop, this game's a win, but the defense drop just makes it a lot easier, as that way, I'm able to get rid of Carbink and take the win. We move to the next match, going up against a fellow content creator, Tamagotcha. Great lead, Alolan Sandslash versus Goodra, but there's a Donphan safe switch, and I'll be honest, I just froze when I saw the Donphan. I stay in, I take way too much damage, and I've already completely thrown this game. I could have sent in either one of my Mud Slappers and just gone down a shield, and preserving Sand Slash would have been very good. But instead, I'll be honest, I didn't know what to do when I saw the Donphan. I froze, and that Indecision will cost you wins. Because look at my Sand Slash now. My Sand Slash is basically no HP. Opponent ends up banking a ton of energy on Goodra, making a catch onto Diggersby. Diggersby going to be hit with Bone Club after Bone Club. And yeah, at this point, I'm just in a losing position. If I had a healthy Sand Slash would have absolutely crushed the Goodra Diggersby core. But unfortunately, I don't. I threw away all my Sand Slash health because I just froze when I saw the Donphan. And I did want to still include this battle to show that A, even battlers who hit page 1 on the leaderboards every season still make mistakes. It's something that's going to happen. And B, just to show that Indecision loses you games. Decisive decision making is so important. Even if I land an Earth Power here, it doesn't KO because it's debuffed. My only hope is that a Body Slam bait gets shielded and I can reset a debuff, but that's not going to happen. So I'm just going to resign the match. But man, very winnable game, but it just shows execution is everything. Great lead in the next match, Alolan Sand Slash versus Clefable. If Clefable is staying in, they're core broken. There's something in the back that doesn't want to see the Sand Slash. And if that's the case, then I need to switch out of here after getting some chip damage. This should put it into pretty nice farm down range for the Shadow Kanto Marowak. So I'm going to end up sending in K-Wack. K-Wack looking for farm. Opponent is going to bring out a Cresselia. Cresselia, this is going to be a little tricky. It's definitely something I had to bait out, but man, Cresselia is not a fun Pokemon for K-Wack to see. Here, the game was very stuttery. From like the moment Cresselia was brought onto the field, like you can see, like the turns are very inconsistent, very stuttery throughout. Definitely not an ideal gameplay experience. My plan here is to double shield. I know K-Wack's energy is really good. We've seen in previous iterations of meta where Galarian Stunfisk had that rock plus ground coverage and it was very strong, and K-Wack has that identical coverage. They're going to switch out, and there's a Diggersby in the back. I'm going to bank a little bit of energy, bring in the Gastrodon, and again, the game just feels very stuttery and very like it doesn't have a lot of FPS. They land the Hyper Beam. That does significant damage. I'm going to bait with the Body Slam. Opponent calls the bait, but that just means they're just going to lose with 2 shields. Like, calling the bait doesn't actually save them here. I'm just going to go for as much damage as I possibly can. They're only getting 1 move, so I'm going to bring in the Sand Slash. They switch out into Clefable, but Clefable only went for the Swift. They did not have enough energy for a Moonblast. Swift is survivable. I can farm them down, and there's just not a way for them to win this game now because they just don't have enough HP. They still have the Diggersby, but K-Wack is going to be firing off the Bone Club, and the opponent actually concedes the match there. So again, not the cleanest gameplay for me, but I was able to take that win. We've got a massive core breaker on the lead, and its name is Azumarill. Azumarill, a huge problem for this team since the Alolan Sand Slash is on Powder Snow, and K-Wack isn't a big fan of Azu either. I just have to hope that they don't have Hydro Pump. If they have Hydro, I'm in a lot of trouble. And they have Hydro. Oh, this is bad. I'm going to bring in the Gastrodon. I think I can throw on Cap here, and Earth Power will KO. They read me like a book with a beautiful catch on a Talonflame, and this game just feels over. I would really need them to have something that was just obnoxiously weak to ground to have any chance to win this game, and it's unlikely that their third is going to fall into that category. I'm going to let this go. If it's a Brave Bird, I get KO'd, but then I can Mud Slap down. It's just going to be the Fly. I'm not going to take this Incinerate damage because the Body Slam will KO, and there's a 2-turn differential between their fast move and mine. So I'm able to pick up the knockout in the back. There's some spice. There's an Arctibax back there, but unfortunately for me, even though they mistimed their move, this does not give me a win con. Azumarill is just very difficult for this team to deal with. If you see an Azumarill, you're not going to have a great day. My only hope is that my opponent just makes a mistake, like this catching on to Azu. If this Bone Club KOs, they've just lost the game. But they tank it with a small amount of HP. And that kind of felt like a theme throughout these sets, is I did have a very successful run with the team, but my goodness, there were a lot of times where opponents lived on 1 HP, and it was absolutely heartbreaking. And here, so close, yet so far. Hopping into the next match, picking up a favorable lead, Shadow Alolan Sand Slash versus Oranguru. Opponent save switches us into a Gastrodon, which is crazy to me. Gastrodon is so powerful, but save switching it is never something I would do. If your opponent has a Flyer, you just instantly lose. The bad news for me is I don't have a Flyer, so the Gastrodon save switch is actually pretty good into my team. I'm forced to stay in and chip, and then bring in my own Gastro to soak energy and farm down. In comes Oranguru, and as long as I leave one more Confusion, I can make a Body Slam plus an Earth Power. I slam first because I was expecting them to shield the first if they wanted to, but it looks like they're just not going to shield anything. So I can now launch this Earth Power. That's going to connect. Bring in the Marowak. In the back, it's a Clodsire, and the opponent will resign the match. Again, if you see a Clodsire anywhere with this team, it's pretty much a guaranteed win. Hopping into the final match, leading into a Shadow Sableye, safe switch into the Shadow Kanto Marowak. Opponent banks a ton of energy, brings in Venusaur, but I'll tell you what, you do not want to give Kanto Marowak this kind of energy. Kanto Marowak already at back-to-back Bone Clubs. Bone Club number 2 forces the shield. They can't even farm down the K-Wack. They're forced to throw energy. You cannot give Kanto Marowak energy like this. That is not going to go well for you. Back in comes the Sableye. Sableye will fire off the foul play, and I'm going to commit the shield. I can look to overfarm slightly and throw the Ice Punch right before they're able to make their next foul play. So the Ice Punch is going to pick up the knockout. In the back is a Clodsire, and again, if you see a Clodsire, it's basically just a free win with this team. So, all in all, let's talk about results. Wholesome had 49 wins and 6 losses with the team. How did I do across the sets that I went with it? Well, the first set, I went 2-3. I was trying to learn the team and honestly had some growing pains along the way, but after that I ended with a 4-1 and a 5-0 to finish it. So I went 11-4. So overall, I feel this is a really good climbing team. It has insane play into Gastrodon, where anytime you see a Gastrodon, you basically just auto win, which is really nice because it doesn't matter where it's aligned, you're going to have very good alignment. So if you're looking for a climbing team, this is a pretty good one. And considering most people already had the Alolan Sandslash from previous seasons, that's one less thing that you'd have to build. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you as always to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is sincerely appreciated. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.